then live on the phone, and live on the computer went right away. Wow, how you doing? This is not the Tyrell effect. This is Candid Conversations, ladies and gentlemen. This is what happens when you do the 4 shows in the same place. We're going to have to change the location for Candid Conversations or something, but then I need the computer, and we're already getting into problems. Never mind. How y'all doing? How was your week?
I think you should do a more intimate setting for Candid Conversations. Maybe, like, move it over to the couch over there.
You know, I did think about that. I genuinely did.
Oh.
Literally.
See? So now I'm bringing it up. So either I picked up on your conversation or that is something that is saying that maybe it should.
Yeah, because I would think it would be you picking up on the conversation because you entered where the conversation occurred.
True.
You know what I mean? Like if we were outside of this setting and...
No, I'd probably still pick up on it.
Maybe, yeah.
Because the 2 people that had the conversation,
yeah,
I probably would still pick up on
it. True. Carrying the conversation.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this episode of The Tyrell Effect is brought to you in part by our purchased bottle of Vintage Inc. Whiskey Barrel Aged Red, VQA Niagara Peninsula, 2017. All right. It is a smooth tasting red wine. It's got a little bit of a bite to it. Not gonna lie, shout outs to Kevin and Don and Tyler. I saw you, or Taco. I saw you on the board the other day. Fast shouts. But yeah, it's a smooth red. You know what I mean? It's got a little bit of a bite to it. Definitely a little dry aftertaste, but that's just my opinion of it. Feel free to visit. Where do we get this from?
Was it at Jackson Triggs?
Jackson Triggs, I think.
Let me see. It's not saying. Just says VQA Niagara Peninsula.
So feel free to look up VQA or Vintage Inc.
Looks like they're trying to do like a tattoo vibe with it.
Yeah.
Vintage Inc.
I mean, look at the bottle. The bottle has such a wicked octopus on it. See what I mean? Like they knew where they were going with that. So check it out. If you probably won't find it at most LCBOs. You're gonna have to go to like a Jackson Triggs or Inniskillen Vineyard for that. Whoop. What's up? What's going on? If y'all seeing the camera shake, it's because I'm moving it.
Isn't there a way to be able to turn off those notifications already, like in your settings, so you don't have to do that all the time?
Wait, I just got to do that.
Oh, okay. But then you won't be able to see anybody talking.
Exactly why I did this. You know, I'm the only one drinking here right now, so
yes, I'm coming back from being ill, so
yes, we here at Candid Conversations only ask you to do what you feel willing to do and nothing more.
Always with consent, right?
Yes, it's with consent. It's just, I'm telling you, I just have to say these things because someone will see me do something and it's like, oh, maybe I should do that. Yeah. It didn't work out for me. I'm going to blame him. No, we don't do that.
You're the one that chose to do it.
That's what we call yo fault insurance, ladies and gentlemen. If you do something because you see someone else do it and it doesn't work out for you the way you want it to, that's your fault insurance. If you know you shouldn't do something and you do it and something bad happens to you, guess what that is? That's your fault insurance. If you tune into one of the 4 podcasts that I'm doing and you hear randomness and wonder why I'm being random and you don't know yet, well, it's because I'm not telling you. But that's still your fault insurance.
That just reminds me of the Dave Chappelle skit, Keeping It Real.
Yes.
That was such a good skit.
Dave Chappelle is the GOAT.
Yes.
The comedy GOAT. He's the coat.
Yes.
No, he's the best comedian. He's the B-coat. Best comedian of all time. Where's all this buzzing coming from?
I have no idea.
Yo, listen to me, computer and phone. There we go. All right. No, still buzzing. Still buzzing. Not buzzing? Not buzzing. No buzzing. All right, cool. I have to turn it down a little bit.
We're just buzzing so much on high energy right now.
I'm showing you. It's been like, there's been so much happening. Like last night, I was supposed to be at home sleeping, and I said, hey, you know what? If something presents itself, I'm going to entertain it. And something presented itself. I was I was invited to go out to Borderline, which is a club, a bar in Welland on King Street, close to Ontario, just past the train tracks, on the other side of the tracks.
Yep.
And I ended up doing an impromptu performance with the man Zach Burry. So, you know what I mean? Shout out to Zach Burry for being ready to perform on a moment's notice.
Hi, Zach, if you're watching, or when you watch, if you watch.
What up, Biz? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
What up, Jenny? What up, Andrew? What up, Andrew? There we go. All right, we chilling. How you doing? Feel free to throw into the conversation. Type in any topics you want to hear us discuss. Ask us any questions you might want perspective on. It is what it is. But yeah, completely forgot what I was talking about. So it's your turn.
I feel like I'm a rookie holding this mic right now.
No, you got it.
Well, because normally, like, I hold it like this. Right?
Yeah, that's G'd up.
Yeah, like I do it like that.
Yeah, that's the vocalist way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you one of those. You know what I mean? You wanna hit that note.
Yeah, you just stamp it out and get like the hand coming out.
You know what I mean? Or like, then you got the gospel way. You know what I mean? And
yeah, I can do that too. Yeah. Or like, what was it? Whitney Houston got rest her soul. I love her, but she would do like the tapping.
Oh yeah.
Because I think they're going to the beat. I never knew why, but it's because they're going to the beat of the tone. Like they're counting the beats.
Okay.
That's why they do that.
I thought she was just feeling the music and just.
It's probably a little bit of that too, but it's because they're counting the beat of the song. It's like I never understood, and I was like, why do they keep doing that? I don't understand.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Me, like, by the time I'm performing the song, it's so ingrained in my head that I know the beats. Well, I can't even tell you the beats per minute unless I count it out. But like, I know where the beat's landing and which words going to, like, needs to be accented. And like, I'm still a little tired from yesterday.
That's okay. I'm a little tired from yesterday too. But it's like a car in driving standard. You just kind of know if you know how to drive standard and you can feel the beat of the car and the transmission, you just kind of know at the right moment when to switch that gear.
Yeah. I remember one time I had to drive a standard from Toronto to Oshawa.
Oh, God.
And I am not a manual technician at all. Like, I can drive it, but like, I'd prefer not to have to. So,
right, of course.
So as I'm driving, you know what I mean? I've got hills and valleys and peaks and all this stuff that I got to overcome. I'm like, let me take the flattest terrain that I can. Don't I end up on the hills and valleys and shit?
Yeah, of course.
And to get to the house, I have to go up a hill. Like, it's like climbing up a mountain. Bruh. It was just, I made it there in one piece. But it took me maybe, like, if I was driving a manual car, no, not a manual car. If I was driving an automatic car, I would have made it there in maybe, like, 20, 25, like 20, 30 minutes. It took me, like, 45 minutes to an hour.
That's okay. You still got there.
Yeah, because I took all the back roads. If I was on the main roads or the highway, that would have been a whole different story. Welcome to Candid Conversations, ladies and gentlemen. What up, Chicho? What up, Eric? We chilling. Oh man, so how was your week?
So far it's been really good actually. I'm obviously, as you know, I'm recovering from being sick, but I tried to insert myself into the Candid Conversation last week from home.
This week I'm whining, I'm just not weeding.
Yeah. Yep. So, some really good things have happened. I had a really great conversation with a friend of mine last night. I was actually speaking with Jenny earlier.
Okay.
We were talking about, manifestation and, your intentions and having good intentions and just putting it out there and just kind of letting your life lead as opposed to you trying to control it.
Okay. That is an interesting perspective because I don't know if I'm more of an attention seeker or
intention, not attention.
No, I should. If I was an intention seeker, I probably wouldn't be in half the problems I've experienced over the last.
Probably not. I know, you and me both. I know.
But like, I think just like between what I want to happen and what is happening, I'm trying to control more than I can.
Right.
And then I'm overlooking things that it's like I'm trying to control the way the computer receives the information as opposed to controlling the way I put the information inside the computer kind of thing.
Okay, it's a different kind of intent.
Yeah.
but it's still, right, okay.
Yeah.
So the purpose of, not even the purpose, but sometimes what, okay, we're going to get a little loaded here. And I don't mean intoxicated.
I was about to reach for my drink. I was like, well.
But you can, however.
If you insist.
You may need to take a sip of wine. So, of course, a lot of us, not everybody, grew up with some kind of religion or none. Religion-based, thought is, we have to kind of just let God lead the way. And he will show us, what we need.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah. God, higher power, whatever you refer to.
Buddha, Allah, Vishnu, Gandhi. It is all a higher power, my friend. Let us coexist.
Yes, exactly.
I don't know if this is me or the wine.
It's probably a little bit of both, and that's totally okay. So, so what happens is when we try to, there's nothing wrong with wanting to predict an outcome for yourself, but what happens is when we try to control too much, we're not allowing divine intervention in to lead us to the path that's truly best for us, as opposed to what is actually, or what we try to intend for ourselves. So it's almost like you need to do a little bit of action with a little bit of divine intervention. That's the perfect balance. But when you try to, when you get your ego involved, which is what a lot of the modern New Age prophecy stuff is, when you just try to control your situations, literally you could be avoiding better growth for yourself as opposed to, sticking in your own head.
Okay, so I think I'm getting better at that because last night I just kind of let go and let God, so to speak.
And there you go.
And I ended up with a venue for a show, so
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't have done it. It's not like I would have taken it upon myself and said, "Hey, let's go here," because you know what I mean. So
exactly right.
So I see where you're coming from. All right.
So listening to that little voice in your head is always a good thing. Again, my life coach would always say, you can sit here and you can, put out there that you want this kind of job and this and this and this, but if you don't leave the your room or your house, none of that stuff's going to happen. You know what I mean? So you have to put, it's like God will give you so much, but you also have to put the work into.
This is true. That truer words are rare, actually. And that's the thing. It's like you can't pray to win the lotto and not buy a ticket. You shouldn't be praying to win the lotto. You should be praying for a wholesome life, really.
Well, money that comes from nothing usually ends up being nothing. That's why all these lottery winners just end up being broke because the money came from literally pretty much thin air out of nowhere.
Hey, but when you think about it, how many people are contribute? Like when you think about all these lotto pools and the amount of money people put into it on a weekly, if not daily basis, and the amount they actually get out of it, it's like, it's preposterous.
I know.
But like it still has a grasp on people.
Yeah. And and that's okay. I mean, if that's where somebody wants to spend their money, if that's what they want to do, that's fine. It's another thing though if again, this is where gambling addiction comes in, where too much of something is not good. So if someone, playing the lotto here and there, no big deal, whatever.
Yeah.
But then there's also religious people that, and when I say religious, I don't mean like spiritually religious, like religiously go every week, whatever, to get their tickets. That's okay too. Again, balance is just everything with everything in life. Really.
Balance. It's all about balance, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so here we go. Talking about intent and being on the right path. Last night, I went to yoga, and my wonderful yoga instructor did a whole class about balance.
Okay.
So we had lots of, yoga stretches and positions and breathing techniques that created balance in our body.
Okay. All right.
So now it's like definitely coming full circle, talking about balance.
I have to. I think that's one of the things I should do. I need to stop. Like I am just. I'm making excuses for not doing more that I'm capable of. It's like I need to see what my full potential is still. I've done so much in the last year, and I still feel like I'm capable of more. And that's one of those things that I used to do that helped me clear my train of thought to focus on what it was I was capable of. I used to do yoga, like a full, I think it's like a 24 pose yoga regimen or something like that. And I'd go through the whole thing from start to end. And by the time I was done, it was like, okay, I feel like a sense of accomplishment. I feel I feel refreshed. Let me go out for a walk or something, or let me work on this project, this music project kind of thing. So it was like the way we take care of ourselves says a lot for like our intentions for others.
Of course. And if we're not taking care of ourselves, then how are we supposed to take care of anybody else?
Oh, yeah. My dad used to tell me all the time, you can't love nobody unless you love yourself, you know.
And, you know, it sounds so cliche, but it's really not cliche.
It's true.
It is so true. Like, it really is true. And I'm, you know, a testament of that as well. You know, I'm somebody who is an empath, and I love to help, and I oftentimes put myself aside. And I guess I get to the point where I get so low because I've helped everybody else. I don't have any gas left for me.
Yeah, and a lot of the time, like, that's one of the first, even with my doctors and like the professionals that I work with, I ask them, okay, have you taken any time for yourself? You know, lately, you know what I mean? And if their answer is no, I look at them stern. I look at them, I like, you know what I mean? It's like, I understand you important to society and everything, but you gotta, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta be important to you. You gotta take some time. And there's times where it's like I have to put myself aside. There's times where I want to sleep and I can't sleep. Well, I need to sleep and I can't because I have a project that has to be completed, or someone's waiting for a vocal track or something, you know what I mean? And it burns me, but I make up the time later, and I'm more fulfilled knowing I'm getting something done as opposed to sleeping. But then there's times where it's just like, okay, I've done enough for you. You need to sit down over there, and we're going to just figure out how we're not going to have this problem present itself.
Well, exactly. So, like, it's priorities, right?
Yep.
And it's, you know, something I've learned throughout the years is, you know, have your A, B, and C priorities, right?
Okay, yep.
Your A being your urgent, that stuff that like needs to get taken care of now. Your B, that's, you know, important but can wait, and then your C, that's, you know, kind of pushed off to the side.
Electives.
Where where it's like, okay, it's like I can do that, but it's not a rush, or like that's not important right now. But sometimes those C's end up being A's.
Oh, buddy, let me tell you, like, a perfect example. It's like, I've been treated as a C at points in my career when I'm treating people like an A.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm like, okay, perfect example. May? Yeah, it was May 18th. I had a show. And I had a DJ. I had a DJ for the show. I had a performer for the show. One of the performers thought there were too many performances on the card.
Right.
So I said, all right, cool. We'll condense the performances. Not my idea to cut everybody's set. Okay. So then one of the artists can't make the set or can't make the show. I get approached by one of the artists who are there, and they're like, well, can you give me the time that you were supposed to give that other artist? I said, no, because 3 weeks ago, when I said for all of you to check in, you didn't check in.
Yeah.
So I'm not doing what you want to do because you didn't do what I needed you to do.
Right.
Right? Why am I going to cut up the set again instead of giving the DJ the time? Because the DJ is the one who's really moving the crowd. So they start hating on the DJ. It's like, come on now. That DJ was solid. You know what I mean? He was proper. He played the whole night. He didn't complain about nothing. He had fun. He brought people in. You know what I mean? Then I have other people who aren't showing up on time and are giving me slack because I'm telling them that, hey, I've put the money into the show to make it happen the way it is happening. I put the time in, put the effort in. I gave you an opportunity to make money off of the show by selling tickets. You didn't bring any of that to the table, And now you want me to rearrange everything to accommodate you when you can't even show some consideration?
Yeah.
Nah, bruh. And yes, this gentleman popped in on a later live this Sunday and had some words for me. I'm sitting here, it's like, okay, like, my brother's 6'5", 260 or something like that. And if I can't say it to his face, then I shouldn't say it at all, because he'll hear it if I say it any other way.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to, oh, this guy's a jerk. Hi, how you doing?
Yeah.
What's going on? Like, no. If I'm a jerk over here, then I'm a jerk in front of the millions and, okay, the hundreds and hundreds of the Blocks fans. But still, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not creating no conflict over this, because really, like, it doesn't make sense for a lion to beat up a rat. But
it really doesn't.
There was a story about a mouse and a lion that kind of has me thinking, like, hey, maybe this is supposed to help me out in some way, and I don't really know yet.
Well, every experience is a learning experience. Whether it, we're often, meant to think if it's good or bad, but really, an experience is an experience. If it's either a learning experience or a lesson, or I forgot what they call it. But basically, yeah, you just learn. So for the next time.
Yeah. I feel I hear what you're saying. It's like, I'm meant to learn something from this, and I think this experience taught me how much more mature I have become.
Right.
Because
old Dave would do what?
Oh my gosh, old Dave would have popped his chain. Like,
right.
Old Dave was like, and blamed it on him. You know what I mean?
Of course, yeah.
And I can't do those things anymore, because, like, I have a child, I have a family, I have responsibilities, I have obligations, I have duties. You know what I mean? But some of these people don't recognize, hey, like, he wouldn't be where he is, and I'll like, through God, he wouldn't be where he is if it wasn't for me.
Right.
I put him in a position of privilege, and you know what I mean? Like, as long as I know that, I'm good. I don't have to.
Well, yeah, you don't have to sit there and put it on blast.
No, I don't have to put. I didn't name names. He knows who he is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is what it is. Instead of putting someone on blast, I'm gonna talk about how I got shows going on. Now, instead of putting these people in these shows because of how they conflict with me, I gotta, you know what I mean, give the opportunity to somebody else.
Yeah, and that's where, taking care of yourself also applies, because if you're always putting other people first, everyone's always going to excel before you. Or at least that's how it looks, right?
No, like, yo, listen, I tutored 5 people in high school calculus. They all passed their classes. I didn't feel like writing the test that day, and I got failed.
See? Okay, so there's a lesson right there.
You know what I mean?
Look at all the help you gave to everybody else, and your effort helped them get passing marks, but you didn't leave anything for yourself.
Nope.
So now what happened? Obviously, then what that happened.
Here I am.
So again, lesson, and this is something, I'm telling myself as well when I say this to you, because I feel like you and I are a lot alike in this regard.
Okay.
And we're always putting other people first.
Oh, yes.
And when it comes to our own success, it's a matter of how worthy we feel of ourselves. So as soon as we start having a better self-worth of ourselves, because, you can love yourself and you can do good things for yourself, but you truly, really love yourself to the point where, because if you're putting others aside, there's nothing wrong, if you're putting others before you, that's kind of what we've been taught as, in religion, put others before yourself, and that's fine. But of course, we always still have to remember ourselves, or else we won't be able to take care of anybody else.
I hear you. And, like, I'm not sure if this is, like, I think this is kind of like an eye-opening experience for me right now, because as much as I'm capable of doing, my willingness to do it is dwindling because of how much time and energy I'm putting into other situations.
Right,
like, I'm
exactly.
just coming around to, like, I'm just getting around to the point where I have that time, that focus to say, okay, like I have the brain space to remember my songs because I'm not chasing somebody down for something that they want me to do for them, or you know what I mean? I have like a network of people that I'm working with now because I'm not dealing with toxic situations. I've improved, I've evolved, and there are people who aren't going to see that.
No, of course not, because they're toxic, and they won't, and they'll think that you're being selfish and you're putting your needs first, and that's not fair to you, because you're a person too. As soon as someone can't benefit from you, that's when you notice they react differently to you.
Oh my goodness.
Or they'll just leave you because they can't get anything from you anymore.
Oh, that's the truth.
And or you just end up again vibrating on a higher energy level where those people who were bottom feeders, you're rising above, and so they can't take from you anymore because you're mentally in a spot where you're not going to allow that stuff anymore. Yeah,
and that's when, like, when you're vulnerable, that's when they want to take advantage and keep you vulnerable, kind of thing. Like, it's like once, and I have no problem exposing my weaknesses. Like, you know what I mean? That's the only way I'm going to improve on my strengths, is to work on my weaknesses. I'm a sensitive individual, and if you want to put that in a battle rap and diss me, by all means, go ahead. But you can miss me with the recipe.
The gentle giant.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm so, like, I don't know if it's empathy or if it's clairvoyance or if it's, or what it is. All I know is it's like I have a sense of intuition. It's like I can see behind the smile kind of thing. You know what I mean? And there's some people who are grinning teeth at me, and I could tell that they have they don't have my best intentions in mind.
Yeah, you see the snake in their eye.
Exactly. So I just gotta, you know what I mean, wait till the snake strikes before I do anything.
That's right.
It's just, it's a hard lesson, you know what I mean? And then I got people who I didn't even know would ride for me as hard as they have, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, they poke jest at me and stuff like that, but, you know what I mean, I'm going to get it from somebody, you know? Yeah. So, like, there's a lot that has developed, and that's why I like to take these times, because, like, to have these candid conversations.
Hi, Topsy. Just want to say hi to Topsy.
Yeah, to have these conversations, because, like, people, I don't get the time to talk to everybody I like to speak to, you know what I mean? So, like, and it also helps other people, like, you know what I mean, get whatever's on their chest off of it, because sometimes all I need is a sounding board, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And, like, I'm lucky I have one.
I feel like everybody needs a soundboard.
Yes.
Everybody always needs a soundboard.
Yes.
But again, if your soundboard keeps saying the same stuff, it's like, okay, where do you have to change yourself?
But you gotta, but that's the thing. Like, I would have to be willing to listen to my soundboard, or I have to say to my soundboard, okay, look, I need help with this situation, or you know what, I just need to vent, or you know what I mean, I got to get this off my chest. Can you just hear me out for a minute? You can't just attack. You can't just unload on somebody that's trying to help you and then disregard everything that they're saying to you.
Because then you're just an asshole at that point.
Exactly.
Like we've talked about before.
Yes, yes. My brother called me one of those, actually, and I have a tendency of being... He also calls me the what is it? The Tsar of technicalities. The Tsar.
Yeah, like, yeah. I know some of those people too.
Yep.
I get it. And sometimes, I have to say, I've been a technicality person too. But really, like, I mean, who you're really lying to is you're just lying to yourself at that point.
Exactly.
And you're just making excuses for yourself to not do what or face what you need to face.
Yeah, and there's no running from it. There's no running from karma.
No.
She will catch you at every corner. I'm telling you this from experience.
You can always cancel out karma.
Only by atoning for your karmic imbalance. Like, only by atoning for your actions.
Sure.
What's
wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that, but not everybody is even.
I know, not
like,
everybody.
I'm well aware of my, like, okay, for example, first, and I'm going back to high school again. First 4 years of high school, I said I am going to be an unruly, territorial, just egotistical jerk because this is going to be my stomping ground. I'm going to establish myself as that guy. I don't care how, but they're going to know my name, and that's what's up. So the last year I decided,
I'm Dave.
You know what I mean? It's like, or the loud black,
Stop around.
or the loud black guy. Either way, but so the last year I say, you know what? That didn't do anything good for me. I'm gonna change my ways. I'm gonna be a good guy. I'm gonna, you know what I mean? I got expelled.
Oh, damn.
I told the vice principal where to go and how to get there, mind you, but that was when school is supposed to be a safe haven, and I mean, like, it's terrifying what's been happening at some of these schools lately.
It really
it really is. And, like, it's supposed to be a safe haven where, like, I lived out of the school district, right? I was getting a ride home from one of the girls on the volleyball team. They kicked me out of the school to go sit in the mall. And I said, okay, let me go and tell her where I'm going. Because she told me to stay here.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, I got to do what she says because she ain't going to be driving around looking for me.
Yeah.
Because that's what she said. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know
in a different context.
In a different context. She can say it in an empowering way.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? I go to go tell her where I'm going, you know what I mean, so she can meet me there. And the principal follows me. I said, I don't understand why the fuck everybody's treating me like I'm some kind of goddamn criminal and shit. I put more energy into the school than any of you assholes. Because that principal had just been there for 2 years. I'd been there for 5. Or the vice principal had been there for 2 years. I'd been there for 5. The principal had been there for a year. So, you know what I mean? And I was literally, like, outside of wearing the goddamn costume, I felt like the mascot for the school.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I was, like, there for, like, so much. Like, there's,
sure.
I can't even rewind the time on that right now. But,
well, you know, you do have that natural leadership quality too, right? And it's sometimes, I can already tell, it's hard for you to watch people do things that you know you could do better.
Oh my gosh.
Even at such a young age.
Yes.
You know, like, sometimes I know, like, but a lot of times, yes, it is easier said than done. You know, you can look at something from, you know, the other side of the fence, and it seems easier than it is. However, I feel the exact same way. Sometimes, like, there's lots of times where I feel like I could do this better.
Yeah.
But then I know there's also someone who could say the same thing about me.
Yes.
Essentially, yes, everybody can do things better. Sure. There's always one better person, but really, who defines better? What's to say that what I do isn't just as effective as somebody else? It's just the way they convey their information.
It's almost like, okay, I had a recent procedure. I'm okay now. And I had to get my dressings changed. And I had 3 or 4 different nurses tend to me, and each of them were able to change the dressing. It's just each one did it differently.
Right.
Kind of thing. And, like, I didn't have a preference on, like, there was no preference either way. They all were effective. They were all efficient.
Right.
They all, like, there's not like, ew, my God, what is that?
That's too loose. It's sliding.
You know what I mean? Like,
fix that.
Fix that. But, yeah, no, but, like, they all had their techniques. Like, some of them were a little bit more, like, not stiff, but, like, they were more, like, not rough, but they were like
some had more of a gentle touch.
Yes.
Whereas the others were, like, literally throwing you off the bed kind of thing.
Basically, ultimately. But you know what I mean? And, like, looking at it, I'm just like, okay, so I have to, like, do I alter my technique based on who I'm dealing with, or does my technique alter based on who's dealing with me, kind of thing?
I think it's, that's actually a really good question. And honestly, I think it's a bit of both.
Okay.
Because what makes you a better people person and what makes you a better people reader is being able to, what's the word I'm thinking of? Being able to assess the situation.
Okay.
And being able to effectively, gauge someone's attitude, performance, I guess depending on what the situation is.
Okay.
But yeah, so their attitude. So if so for instance, let's just say someone, you're at work, and you see somebody come in that is having a very bad day.
Mm-hmm.
So to either one, stay away from them. Or
Which
2,
I'm terrible at.
Right. Or two, help ease them by making jokes.
Yep.
Or like just go easy on them, knowing they've had a bad day. So it's like being able to, like I said, being able to assess like what your environment, what's happening, the people in it. Assess
the situation, engage your course of action. Okay, because
it's being very observant, which is something I've grown to kind of do my entire life.
I always tell my daughter to be aware of what's around her and aware of what she's around.
Always.
And then sometimes she'll like, "What's that, Daddy?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And she's like looking like 50 meters in the distance, and I'm looking like 5 feet in front of me, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's interesting how awareness of a situation can actually affect the results or the outcome.
Exactly.
Like I try to I'm one of those wavers. Hi, how you doing? What's up? Hi.
Right.
You know what I mean? Walking down the street, hi. You know what I mean? To everybody, just because I read this post one time that said most suicide victims would have changed their course of action had someone just acknowledged them.
Oh, you actually just reminded me of something that happened too, actually. And that's very true.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people just want to be heard.
Yes.
And that is a big thing. A lot of people just honestly just want to be heard. And that's why, in retail, for instance, we'd get a lot of people that would, complain about a product, this, not, whatever.
Of course, I'm one of those people.
And it's okay. I still love you. But what happens is at the store level, we're really the only person that these people can vent to.
Yeah.
And it's like they had an issue with a product. So it's like, okay, so what are you really upset at? It's like, well, the problem is that they purchased something, it didn't perform like it was supposed to.
Yep.
Now, in saying that, depending on if a person has a specific need and they pick something that wasn't for that need, then sure, the product isn't going to perform like it's supposed to.
But okay, for me, and this is a perfect example because you seem to be from the retail side of it, and I need to get more perspective or insight, so to speak.
Right, which I can totally help you with.
Shout out to Starty P dropping the Any Last Words mixed our album just now with the track Insight on there. But the insight is, it's like, yes, you're right. As a customer, if I purchase something that malfunctions or doesn't function up to my expectations, and I don't even want to say my expectations, the function up to set expectations, then that's different. Like if I expect it to, for what I've said with my phone on several occasions, I don't expect it to transform and wipe my ass. But like if I can't make a phone call when I need to, then I have a problem with it. You know what I mean?
Sure, of course.
If I can't get my data or something exactly. So and this phone has an inherent glitch in it. It's still it has an adapter. The case that covers the phone comes with an adapter.
Yeah.
When the adapter is plugged in and you plug a headphone jack into it, it sets the playlist haywire.
Oh, that's weird.
It goes just haywire. And I've been telling Samsung about this for the last 2 years.
Okay.
Because it happened with the S6 too. Still waiting for a solution. But I have to gauge how I deal with it because it's a $7 trillion corporation.
Well, yeah, I knew.
You know what I mean?
But you know what? I'm sure you're not the only one with that issue.
No, that's a problem. That's a bigger problem.
Right. So it's one of those things where, companies put out products. And without our feedback, they're not going to know how to improve it, how to take away things, how to add things. So, of course, products have become the way they have been because of, again, the use of it, people, usage.
Okay.
And feedback.
Okay.
Feedback is one of the hugest assets that any company can have because why would a company keep producing, let's say, if they had a handle on the phone, let's say, if nobody's using the phone and their sales go down, they're going to wonder why. They don't have feedback. But if they had the feedback, this is all marketing.
Okay.
Right? So if they had the feedback where people were like, okay, what are the best features of the phone? What do you like about the phone? What don't you like about the phone? So getting that market research allows you, that companies to say, okay, so 80% of people say they don't like the handlebar on the phone. Let's take it off for the new version.
Okay.
So, and then it just evolves. And that's why, the phones or any technology or just like things in general, like running shoes, for instance, like companies like Nike and Adidas, are always looking to improve to make products better, faster, stronger, easier.
I'm going to shout out Reebok.
Reebok.
No, it's all good.
but like Nike and Adidas, I know and I know Reebok too, a lot of the higher companies, they spend tons of money on research and marketing to make the perfect shoe.
Okay, I get that. Time and energy and resources go in towards improving the product functionality for the consumer. But what I don't get is
going back. Yes, I did sidebar. Wait.
Yeah, what I don't get is it's like if I say this microphone is supposed to do A, B, and C, right?
Oh, it sounded like it farted.
You know what I mean? That's such a terrible noise. So this microphone's supposed to do A, B, and C, but the microphone barely does A. I, as a customer, come back and say, you say it's supposed to do A, B, and C. It's barely doing A, and it's not doing B and C. Because they put you through a rigmarole of, you have to get another product of the same type. Well, if the product that's already malfunctioning, how do I know I'm going to get it fixed when you replace it with a similar product? Should you not change the product that you're replacing it with, or should you not at least take the time to research what you can do to improve the product before you offer to change it with something that's the same quality or it creates the same complications?
Again, and this is where sometimes, again, companies will put out products and they won't know about issues until people start using them. So, and that's kind of where that comes in. Now, on the receiving end, so the retail side of things, so the person that was helping you, let's say, should be able to ask you the right questions and figure out exactly what it is that you're doing with the product and figure out if what you're doing with the product is actually what the product was made for. One issue or one way. Another way is if, let's just say, there's a known issue with a certain software that isn't compatible with a certain brand.
Okay.
Then, this is where really studying your product when you're selling to customers will have its benefit, and looking into stuff. I mean, of course, there's only so much someone can do. Like, we already, being on the retail end, there's already so much we have to learn.
Yeah.
But knowing your product that you have to sell, yes, that is part of the responsibility. And knowing of such issues, it is a way to, better assess the customer's needs so that you're not coming back in saying, this isn't working with my computer. Why can't I do what I need to do with this?
Okay. All right. Here's another question. And you have experience working in retail.
Yes.
So, as do I. I've worked in, I worked in a few different industries. After working in retail, though, I worked at the Source for a couple of months. And I don't know, I have this moral compass that it just spins sometimes when I'm behind these scenes. So when I saw that things are marked up from anywhere from 17 to 130%.
Yeah, it's gross. I know.
How does this affect you as a shopper, as a consumer, knowing that these types of markups are exist?
Exactly. And so the markups exist for a few reasons. And the reasons are, of course, if it was a mom and pop shop, I can understand if the markup was really insane.
Okay.
Or I can understand why, it'd be a little out of hand, because it would depend on how greedy they would be, right?
Yeah.
But of course, that's the cost of business. Sometimes a lot of these companies, they have the really high markups because here you're paying, it's how you're paying back for the employees. It's how it's going to, pay wages. It's, going towards, product development. It's going towards a whole bunch of stuff. If they didn't have that markup, there's a lot of times where things will cost 4 cents per unit, but think about how many more things that company has to pay to make that 4 cents. It's really 4 cents on the creative end or on the production end of it. But really, in a grand scheme of things, there's so many other things that have to be paid. Now, mind you, so think about it. It all depends on how everything is presented too, because you can have a little hole in the wall, the box of a store. Okay, it has not much to it. Not like it's very simple, plain, etc. Storefront. Of course, you have to pay for the cost of rent and all that kind of stuff. So yes, like you do need a markup to some degree. But if you find like companies like Freedom Mobile, for instance.
Oh my gosh, I had a 5-year battle with those motherfuckers.
Okay.
Anyway, so let's
not to bring them up, but
it's okay.
I mean, they're about the basics, right? If you really look at it from like an outside perspective, let's just say no experience, okay?
Yeah.
Pretend you didn't have an experience.
No experience.
Yeah, wash it away. So they really just offer you what they offer you, whereas all these other companies, they're bigger. You know, they have more mouths to feed, so to speak. There's more wages to pay. So, or maybe using a cell phone company is probably not the best thing, but okay. No. Here we'll do this. Grocery stores.
Much better. Okay. Much better. Yes. Okay. Yes.
So you have No Frills that has the no-name product.
I actually lobbied for them to get those PC Plus cards.
Yes. So they are the plainest of the plain. There's no extra bells and whistles.
Nope.
Right? But then you get the higher-end grocery stores that, of course, their prices are going to be more expensive because, again, you're buying a more premium product. You're in a store that has more bells and whistles to it. There's basically you're covering the cost of what the cost of business for that to be able to give them back to you.
Then legitimized clearance.
I felt like that took so much out of me to explain.
No, it is. That's why they have 30,000-40,000 people to help them. It's funny when you're using the telecommunications corporations. I've gone through every major telecommunications company, and I've had to take every one of them to the Commission for Complaints for Telecommunication Services.
Oh, no.
And I have beat every single one of them in that complaint. I've had Rogers had to pay out $2,000 on top of replacing both of our phones, and each phone was $1,000.
Wow,
and
that's crazy.
And the phone still didn't do what they said it was going to do, so she got it taken off the market.
Really?
Yes.
What phone was it?
The iPhone 5. I want to say the iPhone 5, the 64 gigabyte. Yeah.
What was it supposed to do that it didn't?
It was supposed to transfer information from one device to another. So I couldn't get any of my data from my phone to my computer or from my computer to my phone.
Really?
And they're both Apple products. And I couldn't get my music over there, and as a music producer, you know what I mean, to not be able to get music from all these talents that I'm working with and display them is that's part of the reason I have the phone. So long story short, we just said, yeah, okay, you did it again. Forget this noise. Better Business Bureau. Everybody that had any Industry Canada, I'm not even allowed to call the CRTC anymore.
Really?
I've been banned from calling the CRTC because of the amount of times I had to call the CRTC about this foolishness. But we got to change, and it's they know us now. We haven't had we've had issues with the phone, but they replaced it twice, and they've changed their protocol to replace devices. So I've had my account, the My Account app.
Yeah.
I want to say on God that I helped create that.
Really?
No, in 2010. So 2009, I was with Rogers, and every month I was getting charged ridiculous amounts of money for my data.
Reminds me, I should look at mine.
Yeah, I get ridiculous amounts of money charged for my data. So they're well, you need to monitor your data better. I said, how the hell am I supposed to monitor my data? It runs through your servers. Why are you not creating a program for me to monitor my data? Why do I not have an application that works with my account that shows me how much data that I've used and how much data I have left?
Oh, yeah, because it does that now.
Yeah. But this was years ago. It's the same time. There's too many conspiracies I got. What up?
Yes, too many.
Oh man, too many theories. Scotiabank Hockey is coming to Welland on the 9th and the 10th. Like, that's going to be something that's interesting because it's basically going to turn this to Hockey Town, and it's going to give everybody an opportunity to come out, celebrate, you know what I mean, our national sport. And
whoa, sorry, this is crazy.
I saw from that reaction, I was waiting for you to say something. I was prepared to be.
You know what? I keep forgetting. I keep thinking, like, just because time has been flying so much, like, we're into a new month. Yeah. I'm like, how do I have 9.42 gigs left? I'm like, am I not even using any gigs?
Oh, wow.
But yeah, but it's only because I have 10 gigs.
Okay.
But, okay, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. But that totally threw me off because I was like, oh my God, how do I have so much? Which is like amazing.
Oh yeah, it's awesome when you check and you find an abundance, isn't it? Like,
yeah, but I forget, like, it is still early in the month. But that just goes to show me that when I had Bell Wi-Fi in my house, it wasn't really working. So by now I probably would have already been 2 gigs in.
Really?
Yeah. So now, like, I'm like nowhere near, which is awesome. Like, this actually makes me really happy.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have I don't know. Don't worry about it. I don't even know where John is right now, King, and I'm not exactly sure that's the best idea. We'll save that for Hardline, maybe. Hardline's on Friday. This is Candid Conversations. We ain't trying to have no gang shit going on right now.
It's Wednesday.
We all need to take a chill pill.
I have the same one.
Bam. Contigo. It is, or how do you say
Contigo.
it? Contigo. You see, I say Contigo. Like.
Okay.
So
a roommate of mine.
Yeah.
He and we used to always have conversations about how to pronounce things. He is Jamaican.
Okay.
And so he would pronounce well, I would pronounce it plantains.
Plantain.
But right, he has corrected me and ingrained in my brain about it being a plantain.
Yes.
And also a machete.
Machete.
Right.
Wam man.
Right, and I would call it machete, and he's like, no, it's a machete.
Machete, yeah, man. Yeah. My dad called it my uncle.
Right, yeah, so it was just so funny, but we used to have like conversation about pronunciation all the time.
Oh my goodness, we should do that. We should have a section where we do that. Just talk about this. Okay, so yeah, let's do that right now. Okay, so what do you call sweetened milk?
Condensed milk.
Condensed milk.
No.
Yes. What do you mean? Okay.
Well, but you know what? I guess it doesn't really. I don't know if there's any wrong or right way.
No, it's just.
So Britain says aluminium.
Wow.
Is that wrong?
Britain's just fucked up.
Well, and they also call a pharmacist a chemist.
Chemist. That's work. That makes sense.
Right. Well, because technically they are a chemist. They're working with chemicals.
But like
chemistry.
Yeah. It's like we got a green onion the other day. We call it scallion, but it's otherwise referred to as chives.
No, chives are different.
Chives are different?
Okay, so I looked this up because I was so confused about all of this too, because I was wondering, I'm like, okay, you have scallions, which look like green onions. They're the same, but they're not. And chives are a different end of it. So chives are like, I forgot what I read. But chives are not. Chives are different. They're it's a more mild onion flavor.
Okay.
Whereas green onion and scallions, one is I think a little bit bigger than the other.
So scallion and green onions are two different things.
Yes, if I remember correctly.
I don't. Leeks and green.
Leeks are definitely.
Yeah.
Like, they're a part of the same family.
Leeks are the bigger ones. Like leeks are like this thing right here.
Green onions on like steroids.
Yes.
But scallions and onions, I forget, or green onions are two different things, if I remember correctly.
We're going to have to check that because
I'm going to fact check this because I can't remember, honestly.
What we talking about food right now, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're hungry, grab a snack and come on back. Actually, bring your phone with you and grab that snack. Let us know what you're eating. Candid Conversations. We try to figure this out. We're trying to figure out if green onions and scallion are the same thing.
Okay. Oh, shoot. There was I picked the wrong one, but okay, let's see. Are scallions and green onions the same thing? Oh, okay, so they are. Okay, that's what it is.
Okay.
Green onions and scallions are the same thing.
Okay.
But chives are not.
Chives are different than green onions and scallion. Okay.
Yes, chives are more mild.
More mild. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
They are harvested very young from the regular bulb-forming onions we are familiar with, or they can come from other varieties that never actually form bulbs. Scallions are long with a white stem that does not bulge out.
Yeah, we have a scallion plant upstairs, and like when we first got it, it had 3 things on it, like 3 or 4 things. Now it has got like 6 of them on there, and I don't really use onions. I just accepted it as I accepted it.
Green onions. Oh yeah, poutine and poutine. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was the next one. That was the next one.
Yeah, okay. So that goes. That's the French pronunciation.
Yeah, the French.
Right?
Oh my gosh, but the French. You see, if you mispronounce a Caribbean word, we'll chuckle and we'll correct you.
Oh, I know. It's like a huge offense. I know.
If you say something wrong in the French culture, they look at you like, sacre bleu. What is wrong with you? You cannot pronounce a simple word. It's like, okay, I don't have that accent, sir. You know what I mean? Like, chill on that.
Well, that reminds me of conversations I'd have about Italian food.
Okay.
One of the things that gets pronounced a lot is, I'm going to say it how everyone says it.
Okay.
Bruschetta.
No. Have I been saying that wrong?
Yep.
Oh no.
But again, I don't blame you. You didn't grow up with knowing the proper pronunciation. So it's actually called bruschetta.
Jesus. I'm sorry for all my Italian folks. That bruschetta is the bomb, though. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah. There's another way that people pronounce it wrong too. I forgot, but it's brew. So like you're brewing something.
Brew, yeah.
And then schket.
Schket.
There's no word for schket.
Well, honestly, the word for sket is not a good word in the Ebonics dictionary.
Hold on a second. Yeah, well, there's skeet.
There's skeet and there's skeet. Sket is a promiscuous individual. Usually, unfortunately, that's what a sket's called. But anyways, bruschetta
or bruschetta.
A bruschetta.
Well, I think because there's what's called dialect, which is basically. So dialect, the best way I can explain is, Canada, United States.
Yeah.
We'll say A.
Yeah.
Right? The States has something that they'll say like, which is like, the same.
It's like they asking you a question. It's like, what's going on, huh?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like the same. So it's basically like it's region specific. Right?
Yeah.
But from what I remember, I believe the proper pronunciation, is bruschetta.
Bruschetta. You see, I can't, that's Italian, so far be it from me to tell somebody how.
Pasta? I hate when people say pasta.
Not pasta.
It's pasta.
It's pasta.
But then, of course, there's also the debate of, so you say.
Is it pasta or is it noodles?
Oh, well, I say pasta.
I say pasta, too. I don't know. There's some people who call it noodles, but either way.
But you know what? All pasta is really the same. You can have, tortellini, farfalle, linguine, fettuccine, but literally it's all pasta. It's just cut differently. It's all the same. But there are some pastas that have egg in them.
Okay.
So some fettuccines do. There's some egg noodles, but again, it's all technically the same.
Yeah, it's just cut differently. It's almost like humankind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We all the same. We just look different.
Well, maybe not tortellini because tortellini actually has filling in it.
Then there's cannolis. Those are some big things.
Which technically are made with crepes. So, it's not really a pasta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my mom makes them all the time. Yeah, so it's basically a crepe.
I can't make a crepe. They break.
I know, they're awful.
They're
so
the hardest things to make.
Yeah.
I can make a mean pancake. My daughter asks me to make them every now and again. But a crepe, it just I break it up all the time, and then it's like
it's having the right the first one is always bad.
Always. Okay, so I thought it was just me.
No.
Okay.
The first one is always bad. I even find that with grilled cheese. I find if I were to make grilled cheese, the first side if I'm making let's say for more than one person, the first one never fries it crispy grilled like I like it. I don't know why. I don't know what it is, but there's just something always with the first one that goes down. It never works.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what it is. So sometimes I'll just do one piece of bread and I'll just fry both sides, get it over with.
Oh.
And then the next thing is like, it's okay.
Okay. You
So
see,
if I'm making it for myself, I'll just do one piece of bread, chuck it or save it for later. And then, well, not that I like to waste food, but
you could probably use it for breadcrumbs for like sauces and stuff like that.
I always try to make a use of it somewhere down the road.
Yeah, we don't eat the bread ends; those end up in the freezer, and that's what we make breadcrumbs out of.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great way to reuse food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just works, and I like to make gravies every now and again. Thanksgiving's coming up. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, my mom make pie this year.
I got a pre-made pie. I don't know, for some strange reason, like I haven't been baking as much. I don't really bake as often.
Are you a baker?
You know what? I grew up around baking.
Okay.
But I wouldn't consider myself a baker. I'm more of a cook than a baker.
Okay.
Like yesterday I put down a mean stir fry, and like it was just at first I didn't want to make it, and then I'm just like, okay, like you got to eat something healthy, man. Like come on. So I just whipped up some peppers, some mushrooms, some chicken, and then I just boiled some noodles and whipped it up into a quick stir fry.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
You know what's also really good? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
My mom will sometimes refry leftover pasta.
Really?
Yeah, and it's really good.
Never tried refrying it.
Just for a couple of minutes, like maybe at most like 5 minutes.
Okay.
Heat it back up, and it's almost like fresh. Like the sauce kind of tends to taste a little bit more tomato pasty.
Okay.
But it's not because you're really kind of evaporating a lot of the liquid in the pasta.
Yeah.
But if you just add even just a little bit of water while you're frying it,
okay,
it just kind of revives it. Basically, it's really good.
Yeah, you know what man,
you should try that next time.
I'm gonna try that. I like to mix it up.
I should bring you some of my mom's tomato sauce next time.
I'm open to it.
Yeah.
I'd probably mix it with sometimes I like to throw the ground beef and the diced tomatoes in the pasta, and just have like a
chunky.
Yeah, like a jambalaya kind of thing.
It just reminds me of Family Guy with Ollie.
Oh man, that's
what's
good.
cooking? Chunky. What are you cooking today? Eggo.
Family Guy is awesome, straight up.
I just watched the new episode yesterday.
Yeah.
And it was about the guys were so upset that they felt like they kept missing great ideas while they were drunk. So then Joe let them wear like the police cams.
Yeah. Oh no.
He didn't miss anything. It was just so funny. And then Brian ended up dating Quagmire's dad.
What the?
Yeah, because his dad's trans, right?
Oh my god.
So then they had Brian it was so funny. He's like, I'm proud to be with you, but then someone would come around and be like, oh no, like get out of here, get out of the way.
No.
So, but then by the end of the episode, he was okay to be with him, and then eventually, of course, they broke up by the end of the episode. Sorry, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Before, but
it's all good.
It's not like it's Game of Thrones or anything. I'm not spoiling anything huge, but
I don't know, man. Some people are serious about their Family Guy. I used to be so into Family Guy, but it's just as of late, I'm creating so much media. Right. I don't really have the time to watch it anymore.
Well, yeah,
but
that's okay.
but I think it might be a little bit of what you were talking about earlier. Like I've seen what I'm supposed to see.
Yes.
For now.
Right.
And I'm just trying. I just have to do what I'm doing until I get to the point where I can see the rest of it.
Right.
So yeah.
You'll go back to it when you need to go back to it.
Oh yeah.
Oh. If you need to. I know for me, I if it wasn't for Family Guy, I would say that saved me hundreds and thousands of dollars in therapy.
Oh my goodness.
Just the comedic relief of that alone.
Yep.
Got me out of probably one of the worst depressions I was ever in.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So, thank you, Seth MacFarlane.
Seth MacFarlane, you the man. Between Family Guy, Robot Chicken and Seth. No, that's Seth MacFarlane too.
No,
Seth Green.
That's Seth Green, yes.
Seth Green.
But Seth MacFarlane is, he does voices on the show too.
But that one and what's the other show? Oh my gosh.
American Dad.
American Dad, yeah. I wasn't really into that one as much. I
love American Dad.
Not when it first came out.
Yeah, when it first came out, I wasn't.
But when it in watching the replays,
I just love. I love most of the characters on the show, equally, but I just love Roger.
Oh my goodness.
Alien.
Roger he's just trouble. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's my favorite.
The Cleveland show. No, do you watch Archer?
Yes.
Archer is
occasionally. I haven't watched it in a very long time.
Oh my goodness, Archer is too funny. They're like
Benoit.
The last episode was 1999. No. Oh yeah.
Too slow.
Yeah.
Too slow.
Oh man.
Benoit.
Oh jeez.
I give you a second chance.
I didn't even get it. I know I might not. I just not remember that episode. Oh my gosh.
It's okay.
Oh jeez.
Benoit.
My favorite line from there was suppressing fire.
Oh, I don't like I said. I only watched like a few episodes, but the Benoit one.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to say the other word you're supposed to say.
Oh, that word. Okay.
Because I've set you up 3 times now, and you
okay. Well, you can set it up another time, and I actually know what I'm saying this time.
but yeah, that was really one of the only episodes I watched because it was an inside joke between the group of people I was talking with at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the only reason why I really know that episode.
Oh, right. All right. Oh man, there was just so much on that show that it just like it's the stupidest intellect. It's like one of the stupidest shows I've ever seen, but like not stupid as in lacking intellect.
Yeah, like
you know what I mean? Just like
yeah.
there's like it's just stupid. Like what do you mean that happened? Like how did that happen? And the writing is so impeccable. Like they'll be in one scene talking about one thing, and then all of a sudden they're in the next scene, and the line carries over from the first scene, and you think they're finishing the sentence, but it's 2 different things.
Yeah.
Like I mean, whoever wrote that show just magnifique.
It's so funny because when you see, it's just so funny to see the voices behind the cartoon characters sometimes because like they just don't match.
Like the guy who does the Arby's commercial.
Yeah, that's the guy who does Archer,
and
the same guy who does Bob's Burgers.
Okay, not everybody knows that. Okay, you're on point with your cartoons right now. Holy.
And he's also done voices on Family Guy too.
Really?
Yeah, he's the guy that does the comic book store guy.
Okay, this is new to me.
Yeah. You'll be like, oh my God, I know now. Now I know. I know a lot of weird things about like weird facts about like the smallest, most innate things like you would never know.
Wow.
For the most part. Anyway, I just like to learn. I'm a sponge.
Ah, that's good. That is good because not enough people really care to further their level. It's like, I'm done high school.
It's like, bye. I'm
bye.
done. No, not me. I just always wanted to be, excuse me, like in the know with so many things in life. I guess I just feel like once we stop learning, we die.
Ooh, that's some high level thinking right there.
And I never want to stop learning.
I find that like I've learned so much. I've learned a lot today in just having these conversations with you. But
your brain, I can tell it's like just
like
filled
I'm
with
literally it's literally pulsing right now. Like I'm not even.
I'm giving your brain an exercise
like,
today.
Look at the veins right here.
I know.
I'm telling you. So like, you know what I mean? And it's like I feel like now after I've learned so much information, it's like you know who Bishop is from X-Men?
No.
Yes. The guy that absorbs all the energy and just releases it. I feel like, you know what I mean? Like I have to now take this information and bestow it upon somebody. Oh, wait. Hi, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to Candid Conversations.
But you know what? Like, so the thing, like, because, you know, you and I, we both have a teacher in ourselves. And we want to be able to, inform.
Educate.
Educate and empower people.
Yes.
Right? That's just our natural born leader ability that we have.
Yes, it is. It's the innate ability within us that that's trying to make its way forward. And I think with these 4 shows, I mean, Candid Conversations, I'm not sure which I enjoy more because Candid Conversations, I don't have to do as much work on here. We just get to talk and shoot the breeze, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Life comes up and we discuss it. With the Terrell Effect, I have so much fun because I get to listen to all of these different people that come from like somewhere close to me, you know what I mean? Like some of these people, a lot of the list now is people that are in the region.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what my goal was at the beginning, to get to highlight Niagara region and their talent. So there's that. And I mean, then I got Tough Talks, which didn't happen last week. That's a combat sport program. And then
Tough Talks.
Exactly. That's exactly what it should. That's exactly how it should start. But
you have like two fists like punching like a little animation.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
There you go.
Like I'm telling you.
I'm just like feeding you all this shit.
I'm showing you like this is just too much.
And it's totally fine by me because again, this is me wanting to empower you.
I appreciate that.
We're
and you're using your voice while doing it.
Exactly. So that's how you're empowering me.
Okay.
So it goes both ways.
Yes.
Great.
It's reciprocal.
That's right.
I like that. I like that.
Just keep charging each other.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. And don't act like y'all don't make batteries that don't keep charging each other. You liars. Big Dubs in the building. Yo, y'all need to check out Weekly Words on Fridays, Free Flow Fridays. Every week, Big Dubs has his podcast on the Green Tree Records channel. Check it out. It usually starts at 5 p.m. on Fridays. And then when you're done watching that, you can come check us out on Hardline at 6 p.m. We might wait till 6:30 just to make sure there's no there's no conflicts in timing and stuff like that. But it is what it is, you know what I mean? Big Dubs is doing some big things. Just got back from Cuba, you know what I mean? Excuse me. Check out the latest Weekly Words on Spotify. Weekly Words Cypher Series volume. I want to say it's like 27. It might be 25. What happened to 26? We'll never know.
No. Well, it is half of 13.
Yeah. I was on. I've made a mark of being on the 4th of everything, so every 10 weeks I'm on there. I was on the 4th episode. Like it was I was on the 4th episode. I was like, all right, cool. Coincidentally, I was on the 14th episode. Well, not the 14th episode. I was on the 4th episode. No, like the 4th volume.
Yeah.
And then I was on the 14th volume. And then I said, okay, well, since I've been on 2 4s, you might as well give me the 24th.
Yeah, why not?
You know what I mean? Like, so I took the 24th, and then I'm gonna make it my thing.
Okay.
Where
now think about it. So you went on the 4th.
Yeah.
The 14th. 1 + 4 is 5. So it's 4, 5, and then you said 24. 2 + 4 is 6.
Oh wow.
4, 5, 6.
That is insane. Look at the math, bro.
Yeah.
It was meant to be.
There you go.
It was meant to be. So yeah, we got this going on, and like I said, 34, 44. As long as he'll have me, I'll go. Like I'll have him
34,
on.
34. That's 7.
Oh my gosh! So every time, 44 is 8, 54 is 9,
That's right.
64 is 10.
But there's no dates with that. The 54th of September, really?
54th. Oh man. The 54th of September. What if September had 54 days?
Oh my God.
Oh, we're already through it. We're into October right now.
Exactly.
Already. Like they probably have Easter decorations up in the store and shit.
Probably.
Like, yo, these stores don't play, bro.
No, they don't.
They don't play. What do you mean the holiday hasn't even finished and you already have the next holiday up? Like, what gives, bro? Give me some time to breathe.
Exactly.
It's like, shit. Like, do you get over relationships like this? Like,
thank you, next.
You know what I mean? Next. Oh my goodness.
Sorry, I have to interrupt you for a second. When you said hard line, I thought of something else too.
Oh my god.
Hard line, and then like a line like skid across and cut up.
Can you actually animate that kind of stuff?
No, unfortunately, I don't know that.
Okay.
I wish I could because I would totally do that
would
for
be
you.
Cool. That would be cool. Like I'm thinking about it. Like I'm like just hard line.
Yeah.
We have an intro song, or we have a song for the intro. Let me see. Do I play it? Where is it? There it is, right here. Yeah. We have a song for the intro, which is pretty cool. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's our Friday show. That happens around 6 o'clock. Usually 6 o'clock. I want to say 6, 7 o'clock, because life happens.
That's right.
Life, like it constantly happens, and it's like no matter what you do, it's gonna happen to you. It's like Hulk Hogan should have came out and, what you gonna do when life, it happens to you, brother? Like,
They just sounded like a wrestler. Oh, man.
Oh, man.
I can't even get my voice that deep or I'll start hacking up a lung.
Oh, my goodness. I'm telling you, this is just what we do. Like, we open the door and let you know, like, no topic should be off limits. Like, we should be able to speak our mind without people getting offended. And if you have taken offense to anything we've said, send me an email or send me a message. We'll talk about it in type and try to be respectful individuals. I just don't think I should have to hide how I think because people are sensitive.
I don't think really anybody should.
No.
But at the same time, of course, there's being considerate and there's just being an asshole.
Yeah. There's not knowing and there's not knowing and doing something and then there's like blatantly doing something because of yeah.
You just don't care.
Oh, really? You don't like when I talk like this, huh? Like if I talk like this it's going to annoy you? Like these are annoying tones? Like there's people to do that.
What? Hey, what are you doing over there? Yeah?
Yeah.
That reminds me of also another Family Guy character. Think of who? Oh, yup. I don't remember who. If anybody knows.
The old man.
Oh God, no, please, no.
Oh my gosh.
I can't imitate him.
Oh, he is too funny.
Yeah, but no, it's not him. It's another one that's on there.
Oh man.
It's someone that was just on like one time that I think just stuck out to me because I thought the voice was hilarious.
Okay. Oh man. Candid Conversations live on Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. At The Block Online on Facebook. No, it's at The Block Online on Twitter and at The Block Online on Instagram and David The Block Terrell on Facebook. How can the people get a hold of you if you want them to?
Me?
Yes, you.
Well, they can look me up on your Facebook.
All right, cool.
Or I do have Instagram. It's LuckyLolo77, if I remember correctly.
Oh, 77. Wow, that's a cool number.
Yeah.
That's a cool number.
Well, going with luck and 7.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. So that means, oh shoot, maybe that's why I've been so lucky.
Possibly. Who knows? Well, but I've been giving you lots of insight. Remember,
yeah,
so it's been changing your thinking. So you're attracting different things now.
This is true.
So and it's good and it's okay because you deserve it. You work very hard to get where you are.
Haven't I though? Thank you for saying it because it sounds more egotistical when it comes from me.
No, I can tell you're somebody who's had to not necessarily fight, but you've.
Oh no, you'd be right.
You've worked hard. Down the road, I'm sure you've had your fights and fought to get to where you are.
Oh yeah.
But no true hustle isn't without that. If
No.
everything was handed to you, it wouldn't even be worth anything.
I often ask myself, what's life without a struggle? When you think about the butterfly, I was told about the butterfly and the cocoon, and basically how if you were to help a butterfly out of the cocoon, the struggle, like the lack of struggle, will take away from its strength.
That's right.
So, like, its wings won't develop the strength that it needs in order to make it fly. So sometimes you gotta and for all of you who are in a struggle right now, if you need help, you gotta, legit ask. You gotta reach out for that help. I gotta have to decline this right now. Sorry, Pops. If you legit need help, like reach out and let people know. But sometimes, like when it comes from me directly, I've gone through my struggle, so I might just let you struggle on your own. If I don't know, like if I see the struggle is something that you need help with, and I can identify that, I'll try to help. But like, there's a lot of people who get offended when you try to help them deal with their situations, or they just push you away, kind of thing. And it's like, okay, this has got to be important. So we're gonna end the Facebook Live, and we're gonna continue talking on Spreaker.com. All right, bless up. Hello? Hello?
So in continuing with what we were just talking about, it's life can always be as easy as you make it, or it can be as hard as you make it. But again, without a struggle, we won't be able to build the strength that we have within ourselves to get through to our next chapter, our next challenge. Yeah. You're not alone. There are people out there. Sometimes we feel so alone, but sometimes we just have to look into ourselves and or the people around us. And it's okay to reach out for help. I know sometimes the struggle may really be real, and there are some people that legitimately just want to deal with things on their own, but sometimes there are some things that are so big that are outside of us that we can't help ourselves, and we need to reach out. And I'm speaking from experiences. I'm literally just kind of getting over this and getting out of this right now.
I'll tell you right now, I'm gonna be the first. There's 3 phrases that are very hard for men to say. Sorry, I need help, and thank you. Or was it I love you? I don't know. But one of the 3, I don't know. But a little bit of both. So maybe 4. We'll say 4.
Sure.
We'll say 4 phrases. But like for me, like I'll tell you when I need help. But I'll struggle to do it on my own until I get to a point where it's frustrating, and then I'll try to ask for help. But now I'm getting to the point where it's just like, okay, I can't handle that, and you can't. So I'm going to get you to do it while I'm going to do something for you that you might not otherwise have been able to do if it weren't for me, kind of thing. Like having my strength improve one's weakness, and having their strength improve on my weakness, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like, but think about how men were brought up. Men were brought up to be macho and not show their feelings.
Yep.
And I was reading something somewhere recently that said, could you imagine what life would be like if men were actually allowed to show their emotions, and if men weren't forced to not show their emotions?
It would be a different world.
I think there'd be a lot less emotionally constipated people.
You have a lot less arrogant jerks. You have a lot more compassionate souls.
Yeah, because people were, or a lot of guys, but it's not even just guys. There have been some women too. My family, for instance, but it's a European background, and a lot of Europeans can probably relate to this. I wouldn't even just say Europeans, but in the olden times, it was olden times. Making it sound like 1867.
I'm interested in where you're going with this, so by all means.
No, but it's like, I grew up to not show emotion. My mother grew up, to be stern and not show emotion, to just basically make it go away.
Okay.
So, but in turn, that actually can hinder you because you're not allowing yourself to deal with issues at hand. So what's happening is you have the seat of negativity, or this seat of, anguish, whatever it is, hatred, anguish, undealt with emotions, basically, that are stuck at the seat of your power. If you don't allow them to be out and dealt with, you're just building on. That's how you get people that are very resentful. And you get
so
people
you're kind of bringing. Okay.
So basically, it's like, okay, think about it like this. And I always refer to this analogy, and honestly, it makes so much sense. You can't clean dishes with a dirty pile of water. If you start off with a clean sink of water, eventually that water is going to get dirty. And if you don't do anything to clean it, you're just going to be continuously washing away, washing your plates with dirty water. So that technically they're clean, but they're not really clean if you really think about it. Okay. So it's like a little bit of everything is carrying to the next generation, to the next generation.
Okay.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So what's happening is whatever's not dealt with in one life won't get dealt with for the next generation. So let's just say, your grandparents treated your parents a certain way, and then your parents will then again they were treated. So they'll either want to be better for their kids, or they'll just be the same.
Okay, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Or worse. They may end up being worse because their parents were so strict, right? Because sometimes it can be where, parents are their kids' best friends, but that isn't always the best case for them either.
No, it isn't. I tell my daughter all the time, I'm your father before I'm your friend. As long as you can respect the fact that I'm your father, I don't have a problem being your friend. Yeah. It's the minute you cross that line that we have to clarify.
Exactly. And but like I said, like my dishwashing analogy tends to work on so many levels for so many different things.
Yeah.
Today, just even talking with you, I realized it from a different level, of an ancestral level.
Okay.
Because it makes sense, because you can start off with, one family member or two family members, mother, father, whatever. Or in this case, it could be same sex as well. You can start off and then it goes, the next generation. So they only did the best that they could for what they had. Mm-hmm. Next generation comes. Again, taking some of the knowledge that they've gathered and then making their own.
Yeah.
Again, it just extends. Yeah.
And then continues on.
Right.
All right. We are almost at like an hour and a half.
Wow.
Yeah, I believe it.
It didn't even feel like it was that long.
No, I'm telling you, like, I looked at over, okay, 20 minutes. I'm talking to you, look back over, okay, 40 minutes, look back over. It's like they're just 20-minute sections.
I honestly thought we were barely at an hour.
No, we're at an hour 26. So I think we'll wrap it up around an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Yeah, that works.
My throat's getting a little scratchy now.
Oh, my gosh, I didn't get you the water. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I'm actually kind of glad you didn't. It's fine.
Okay.
Kind of like when I have that sexy, raspy voice going on.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Hey.
That's a little too raspy.
Hi, Dave.
Oh, man.
It just reminds me of Vera from In Living Color.
Yeah, oh, my goodness.
You guys need some protein. Oh, no. That was...
Yeah, it's Vera, yeah.
You guys want some protein?
I have that. I actually have all 3 seasons of In Living Color.
What?
Yes, I do. It is one of my pride and joy. Like, I went out and I saw it and I was just like, okay, hold on a second. In Living Color? What? All 3 seasons? What? I picked that up. It was one of the best purchases I made. Next to that, it was the Quentin Tarantino set. Like Jackie Brown,
Jackie Brown.
Yeah, Jackie Brown and what else? Pulp Fiction. And it's got a couple other ones in there. It was an older set though. But yeah, those are like antiques. Those are like not antiques, but those are classics. You find them at like your secondhand stores and stuff like that. That's the place to get some really good movies.
I have to agree.
Yeah.
And they're gently used.
Yeah.
Which is okay. Who cares?
Exactly. Some of y'all need to put your pride aside. Y'all making waste. Y'all, and some of these people, like, can I talk to you for a minute? Okay, before we close this out, I want to put it to you like this. Now, if you're going to buy something just to throw it out, there's no point in buying it in the first place. You know what I mean? Or buy it and give it to somebody. How about you do it that way? There's a lot of people sitting on things that they don't really need. Maybe you should look at people who don't have what you got. Maybe you should try helping people out, giving it to them. I'm not saying you have to do what I say. I'm just saying you might correct your karma if you do.
Yep.
That's all it is. I collect all kinds of things. I gave that to somebody, but they left it here.
Well, maybe it wasn't for them at that moment.
I guess not, but it's all good. I'll keep it. Still does the purpose. Serves the purpose.
Yep.
But yeah, we have, oh my goodness, had quite an interesting set of conversations. If there's anything that you want a little bit more insight on, feel free to contact either of us. You can message in the forum, in the chat box there, or you can message me personally at David the Block Tyrell or at the Block Online on Twitter or Instagram. Yeah. It's so hard.
Here I go. I can't. I literally went this whole entire episode without just randomly laughing at you until literally right now.
Oh, you did good. You did good. You did good.
Awesome.
You did awesome. Oh, man. So for me and Lucky Lolo, we are going to fade out right here and have yourself a glorious week until we talk again.
Oh, I'm so saying.
No, go ahead.
No. I can't. My throat. The way my voice is right now.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, in that case, bless up. We out.